Hello everyone, this is Chandra Prakash Bhavana and this is the revision 2 of my real interview question with the company called Tech for Solution. So in this video I'll share the PHP and MySQL question they were asked along with the clear answers. So let's begin. So the company name is the Tech for Solutions and the location is New Delhi and the interview date was the January 21, 2026. So the first question they asked me trait. So PHP does not support multiple inheritance directly because a class in PHP can inherit from only one parent class. So this restriction avoids the complexities and ambiguities of the diamond problem which can occur in the multiple inheritance scenarios. So trait logger, public function log $message, echo log $message. Trait notifier, public function notify $message, echo notification $message. Now class user, use logger notifier, public function create user $name, echo user $name created, and this log created user $name. So this notify user $name has been added. So $user equal to new user create user Alice, and user Alice created, log created user Alice, and notification user Alice has been added. Second question they asked me, reverse the array. So they gave me one array 251759 and then I have to reverse it. So the first method is a manual method. So this is mainly the interview friendly without the built-in function. So you have the array 251759 and you have one variable $result equal to empty array. Now for $I count array minus 1, $array minus 1, $I is greater than equal to 0 and $I minus minus. So $result empty array equal to $array in bracket $I. Now print our $result. So this will give the output. The second is the built-in function. So you have an array 251759 and $result equal to array underscore dollar reversed equal to array underscore reverse and in the bracket $array. Now print r and $reverse. So it will give the output. So descending order without built-in function. Okay. So you have the 251759 and $n equal to count $array for $I equal to 0, $I less than $n and $I plus plus. Now for $j equal to $I plus 1, $j less than $n, $j plus plus. So if left number is smaller, then swap. So if $array $I is less than $array $j, then $temp equal to $array $I. So $array $I equal to $array $j and $j equal to temp. Then print r $array. Second method is you have an array 251759 and and then just a function r short $array and then print underscore r $array. So it will reverse it. Third question they asked me INNODB. So here is a simple breakdown of the 4 MySQL storage engines. So INNODB best for the application needing transaction, data integrity and high concurrency. So the key features are support transactions, reliable data handling, then support foreign key relationship between. So it supports the foreign keys relationship between tables. So uses raw level locking, better performance when multiple users are accessing the data. And this is a crash recovery to prevent the data loss. This is the INNODB. Second is the ISAM, that is the index sequential access method. So best for the older system with simple read heavy application. So the key features are no transactions, less reliable for the complex operations, no foreign keys, no relationships between the tables, table level locking, slower if the multiple users are accessing data at the same time. And another one is obsolete and not commonly used anymore. So this is the ISAM. Third is the heap, that is the memory storage engine. So this is the best for the temporarily fast data storage, example for caching or the intermediate operations. So the key features are in memory storage extremely fast, data disappears when the server restarts, no persistent data is lost when the system shuts down, and this is the ideal for the temporary data and does not need to be saved. Fourth is the MyISAM. So this is the best for the read heavy application that don't require the transactions. So the key features are no transactions, so no guarantee of data consistency, table level locking, so slower if many users access the table at once, supports full text indexing, useful for searching text, faster for read operations but not ideal for the concurrent writes. So the summary of these storage engines are INNODB. So this is best for the application needing transactions and data safety. ISAM, old engines, no transaction or relationship, rarely used today. Heap, fast temporary in-memory storage for the quick operations. And MyISAM, good for read-heavy application but lacks support for transaction. So question number 4, you have to write a query and which return last second salary, and you don't need to use limit here. Okay, so without limit, select max salary from employee where salary is less than, in the bracket select max salary from employee. So this is the without limit. If you want to use limit, then select distinct salary from employees, order by salary, disk limit 1, offset 1, or select distinct salary from employees, order by salary, disk limit 1, 1. So explanation, distinct salary ensure duplicate salaries are not counted multiple times. So order by salary disk sorts salary from highest to lowest. So limit 1, 1 skips the top one salary and gives the first one, that is zero based index. The fifth question they asked me, drop, delete, truncate in MySQL. So delete is a SQL command used to remove one or more rows from a table based on a condition using the where clause. So it can also be used to delete all rows without dropping the table. So delete from table where condition. Okay, truncate. So definition, no where clause. Truncate is a SQL command used to remove all rows from a table instantly and reset auto increment values with the while keeping the table structure enacted. So it cannot delete specific rows, it is faster than delete. So reset auto increment. So truncate table and then you have to provide the table name. Drop. So what it does, remove the entire table, data plus structure both deleted, and a drop table employees. The sixth question they asked me, methods in API. So the first is the GET request. A GET request is one of the most commonly used HTTP method used to retrieve data from a server via an API, that is the application programming interface. So when a client like the Postman, a browser or a front-end application sends a GET request to an API endpoint, it asks the server to return the specific resources or information such as user details, product list or settings. So GET requests are read-only operations and do not modify any data on the server. Second is a POST request. So a POST request is used to send data to an API to create something new on the server. So for example, you use POST to add a new user, submit a form or upload a file. Third is the PUT request. So a PUT request is used to update existing data on the server. So it usually replaces the entire resource with new data. Patch request. A patch request is used to particularly update existing data on the server. So unlike put, it only changes the specific fields you send. Fifth is a delete request. So a delete request is used to remove data from the server. It deletes a specific resource like a user or a record permanently. So extra HTTP method. The full example: head method. Purpose same as get, but is only the headers, not body. So syntax is curl -i-x head http localhost :8000. Use case: check if resource exists. Check file size before downloading and monitoring APIs. Options: allowed method curl -x option http localhost :8000-i. Extra connect example: mostly not used locally, so curl -x connect http localhost :8000. So use case: use in course pre-flight request. So browser checks permission before post/port. So connect method. Purpose: create a tunnel to the server used in the HTTP proxy. So curl -x connect http localhost :8000. So use case: VPNs HTTP through proxy server. Fourth is the trace method. So the purpose: echoes back the request of debugging. Curl -x trace http localhost :8000-i. Use case: debugging request path, often disabled due to security risk. Question number 6: how to secure API? So best one-liner is: we secure API using the authentication, authorization, HTTPS, input validation, rate limiting, and proper access control. Okay. So again, I want to repeat it. We secure APIs using the authentication, authorization, HTTPS, input validation, rate limiting, and proper access control. First, use authentication. That is, authentication means who are you? So common method: JWT token, auth2, API keys. So for example, authorization: bearer token, only authenticated user can access API. Second, use authorization. What can you do? Even if user is logged in, they must have the permission. Example: admin can delete, employee can only view. Role-based access control, that is RBAC. Third is always use the HTTPs. So prevent data stealing, that is man-in-the-middle attack. Without HTTPS, password and tokens can be intercepted. Fourth is the input validation and sanitization. So never trust client input. Protect from the SQL injection, XSS command injection. So example: filter _var $email, filter _validate _email. Fifth is a rate limiting, that is prevent abuse. So limit number of requests per use /IP. Example: max 100 requests per minute. So protect from the DDoS and brute force attack. Use proper HTTP status code. Return correct responses. 401 unauthorized, 403 forbidden, and 429 too many requests. 7. Secure headers. So add headers like X content type option not no sniff, X frame options deny. 8. Logging and monitoring. So track suspicious activity, failed logins, too many requests, unauthorized access. Tools: Elk Stack or Cloud Watch. 9th is the avoid sensitive data exposure. So never return password, OTPs, or internal server errors. So example: don't expose stack trace. 10th, use cons properly. So allows only trusted domains. So access control allow origin http yourfrontend.com. So perfect interview summaries. To secure an API, I use the HTTPS token-based authentication like JWT, rule-based authorization, validate all inputs, and apply rate limiting, log request, and restrict access with the secure headers of course. Test secure API with CMD. So without API, will fail. curl-x post and then your http slash localhost colon 8000 slash secure API dot php hyphen h content type application slash json hyphen d name Chandra salary and 12,000. So response is the error invalid API key. With API key, that is success curl-x post http localhost colon 8000 secure API dot php hyphen h content type application json hyphen h x API key 123 and then secret key hyphen d name Chandra salary 12,000. So the output will be the message secured data received successfully name Chandra salary 12,000. So interview answer: in core PHP, I secure the APIs by validating API keys or JWT tokens in headers, enforcing HTTPs, sanitizing inputs, applying rate limiting, and returning proper HTTP status code. Question number 7: session and cookies. So for logged in user, you can store data temporarily in the cookies or in local storage or the client side. So using cookies allow you to store data on the user's browser, which persists even after the browser is closed unless the cookies expire. So set cookie user data temporary value time plus 3600. So cookies will expire in 1 hour. That's the cookies. If it's a $cookie user data, then echo $cookie user data, that the output will be the temporary value. So using local storage client side JavaScript, although not directly part of PHP, local storage is a common method for storing non-sensitive user data in the browser. So you can use JavaScript to handle this. So store data in local storage dot set item user data temporary value. So access data from local storage, let user data equal to local storage dot get item user data console dot log user data. So the output will be the temporary value. So the key differences are: session store data server side, cookies store data client side on the user's browser, database stores permanent user data server side for logged in users, local storage store data client side on the user's browser for non-logged in user, only available to the JavaScript within the same origin, not sent to the server. Question number 8: aggregate function in MySQL. So there are 5. So generally there are 5 functions or the 5 aggregate functions. Okay, so the first is the count. So the count the number of rows, select count from employees. Sum, return the total sum, select sum salary from employees. AVG, return the average value, select AVG salary from employees. Max, return the maximum value, select max salary from employees. Min, return the minimum value, select min salary from employees. Question number 9: SQL versus MySQL. So SQL stands for the structured query language. So the purpose is SQL is language used to interact with the database. So this is used for the creating tables, inserting table, updating data or fetching data. So for example, select star from employees. Okay, so the key points: SQL is the standard language, not a software. Second is the MySQL. MySQL is a RDBMS. That is the relational database management system. So the purpose is MySQL is a database software that use SQL. So this is used for the storing and managing data, running SQL queries, and for example, MySQL server stores the employee table. So main differences: SQL versus MySQL. SQL language, MySQL database software, that is RDBMS. SQL structured query language, MySQL, my equal to name plus SQL. SQL write queries, MySQL stores and manage data. SQL, that is select, insert, and MySQL server, MySQL DB. SQL works with the many DBs and MySQL uses SQL to operate. So the best interview one-liner is: SQL is a standard query language used to communicate with database whereas MySQL is a relational database management system that implements SQL to store and manage data. Another question they ask me, types of API. So based on the accessibility, that is most common, public API, also called the open API. So available to everyone and used by the external developers. For example, Google Maps API and Twitter API. Second is the private API, internal API. So used only inside an organization and not exposed publicly. Example, company payroll API used internally. Third is the partner API. So shared with the specific business partners. So require authentication and agreement. Example, payment gateway API shared with merchant. Fourth is the composite API. So combines multiple API calls into one request. Example, one request return user plus orders plus payment details. Second, based on architecture style. REST API most popular. Uses HTTP method get, post, put, delete. So data mostly in the JSON. So example, get/employees. Second is the SOAP API. Use XML, most strict and secure, used in the banking government systems. Third is the GraphQL API. So client request only needed data, single endpoint. Example, employee name, salary. Four is the gRPC API. High performance, use protocol buffers and used in the microservices. Third, based on the communication web API, accessible over internet using HTTP. Library API, functions provided by programming libraries. Example, Java collection API. Operating system API, so used to interact with the operating system resources. So example, Windows API. Best interview summary. APIs can be public, private, partner or composite based on the access. So architecturally common type of REST, SOAP, GraphQL and gRPC. So the quick table is public, that is Google Maps API. Example, private, internal HR API. Partner, payment gateway partner API. REST, JSON plus HTTP method. SOAP, XML based banking APIs. GraphQL, flexible data query. gRPC for fast microservice APIs. Question number 11, they ask me UTF-8 in MySQL. So UTF-8 is a character encoding which allows MySQL to store and display text in the multiple languages. So example, language English, Hindi, Japanese or emojis. So why UTF-8 is needed? Without UTF, special character may become question mark. Hindi Unicode text may not store directly or not store correctly. Example, insert into employees value in Hindi Chandra. UTF-8 ensure it is stored properly. So important interview point, MySQL has two UTF types. First is the UTF-8 old limited. So supports only up to 3 bytes, cannot store emojis. Second, UTF-8 MB4 recommended. Supports full Unicode 4 bytes and can store emojis and all symbols. So always prefer UTF-8 MB4. So set database char set to the UTF-8. So best practices, create database company, character set UTF-8 at MB4 and call it UTF-8 MB4 underscore Unicode underscore CI. Set table char set, create table employee ID int name varchar 100 and character set UTF-8 MB4. So convert existing table. So alter table employee, convert to the character set UTF-8 MB4 and call it UTF-8 MB4 Unicode CI. So UTF-8 in MySQL is used to store multilingual Unicode data. MySQL UTF-8 is limited. So UTF-8 MB4 is the recommended for the full Unicode support including emojis. What is the collation in MySQL? So collation defines how MySQL compares and sort text, that is string data. It controls alphabetical orders, case sensitive and accent sensitivity. The character set, term and meaning. Character set, which characters can be stored, that is UTF-8, etc. Collation, how characters are compared or shortened. So example, table user UTF-8 char set and character set UTF-8 MB4. So now collation decides shorting, collet UTF-8 MB4 Unicode hyphen underscore CI. Common collations UTF-8 MP4 underscore general underscore CI. This is the fast, less accurate shorting. UTF-8 MP4 underscore Unicode underscore CI. Accurate and recommended. UTF-8 MP4 underscore bin. Case sensitive binary comparison. What does underscore CI mean? CI means case insensitive. Example, select capital A equal to small a with CI collation true. So case sensitive collation example, UTF-8 MB4 underscore bin. So capital A equal to small a, so this will return the false. Okay. So set collation inquiry. So select name from employee, order by name collect UTF-8 MB4 underscore Unicode underscore CI. So interview one-liner, collation in MySQL defines the rules of comparing and shorting string data such as the case sensitivity and Unicode ordering. So that was my complete revision 2 interview experience with the Tech4 solutions, and I hope these PHP and MySQL questions help you in the preparation. So this interview date was the January 21st, 2026. Company name is the Tech4 Solutions and location is the New Delhi. So I will share more interview questions, and thank you for watching. Until then, for the next video, till then, bye.